Data set and distribution. Data set warm-up. The following table shows the yearly salaries for each of the cheerleading coaches in Dakota County. You have Mr. Boone makes 41,000, Miss Ingrid makes 38,000, Mr. Jackson makes 36,000, Miss Sight makes 57,000, Miss Morty makes 42,000, Miss Sawyer makes 37,000. How many cheerleading coaches are there in Dakota County? So all I have to do is just go ahead and just count how many coaches appear here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 6 names that appear here. Next question. Okay, each picture of a tooth represents one tooth. So here we have a series of students here, and we see the first one has 3, we have 2, Carlos here has 5, and then we finish up with 1. What was the most teeth a student lost? Well, of course, it's right here, Carlos. So Carlos does show 5, and each tooth does represent only one tooth. So right there, our answer should be 5, because the most means the largest number. Here we're collecting coins by each person in scavenger hunt. Again, we have the students listed on the bottom. We see that Julia's at 5. We see Alice is at 6. Davy is at 5. Lucas is at 7. And Carter is 8. And again, this is a bar graph, not a histogram. It's a bar graph because these are exact numbers and just single names underneath. So it makes it a bar graph, not a histogram. What's the most frequent number of gold coins that a scavenger collected? So when they say frequent, they want to figure out, what particular number is repeated. Well, the number 5 is repeated, so that's the number that appears the most. So what was the most frequent number of gold? So we don't want to know how many times it appears. We don't know what that actual number is. So that actual number would be 5. Okay, next one. Now, each one of these pictures of a sundae represents actually 3 sundaes. These are the name of the stores, and these are sundaes that were served on Monday. So let's see what the question asks. How many stores made more than 10 sundaes on Monday? So right here, you see that each one is going to be 3. So this is going to be 3. This is going to be 4 times 3. So that one actually becomes 12. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's actually going to become 18. Okay, right here, this is going to be 2. So 2 times 3 is 6. And then right here we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times 3 is 12. So again, let's go back. Look at the question. It says how many stores made more than 10? It's got to be more than 10. We have 1, 2, and 3. So we have 3 numbers that are more than 10. So how many stores made more than 10 sundaes on Monday? It was 3 stores. Okay, now each apple that we see here represents 1 apple seed. And these were the cities where Johnny planted the seeds for the apple trees. So we have Charleston, Louisville, Richmond, and Springfield, and we can see the series of apples on the top here. So how many locations did Johnny plant the apple seeds? So again, it's nice that we see actually what the numbers are. We can compute, which one is the highest. In fact, Louisville and Springfield are actually tied. Which one was the smallest was Charleston. But that's not what the question is asking. It wants to know at how many locations did Johnny plant the apple seed? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can clearly see that there's 4 cities listed here. Okay, Nate weighed each of his cats and found that Betty weighed 1 1/4 kilogram. Fido weighed, okay, so let me underline this. So, Betty weighed 1 1/4, Fido weighed 2 kilograms, Spot weighed 1 5/8, Yogi weighed 3 4/9, and Smart weighed 4 1/10. So we want to figure out what is the heaviest cat. So initially you're thinking, wow, okay, we got some fractions here, but really the fractions don't really play a huge part in this because you want to find the heaviest. That we want the largest number. So you see this is 1 followed by a fraction. This is 2, so 2 would be larger than the 1. Here's 1 5/8. Again, the 2 would be larger than that. And now you have 3 3 and 4 ninths. Well, clearly the 3 is bigger than the 2, so now we have this as our heaviest, but then we compare it to the last cat. The last cat is 4 and 1/10. So we know that this is our largest number here. So what was the weight? So now we want to put down not the name of the cat, but they want to know what the actual weight is. And you can also see the kilograms here abbreviated. So we'll type in 4. Now notice the fraction didn't pop up, so we have to, go ahead and use the keyboard for the fraction to separate the 1 and the 10. So let's check it, and it's correct. Now the digits from the serial number of dollar bills are listed. Now they want to figure out which one appears most often. Generally when you have numbers like this and listed out, you always, good practice is always to list it from smallest to highest. So if we look at this, we have 1, 2, followed by 2 5s. Okay, so we have 2 5s here, followed by a 6, followed by 1, 2, looks like 3 8s. So if we check this, we have 1, 2. So we have 1, 2. We have 2 5s. We have 1 6, and then we clearly see the 1, 2. Actually 4 8s there. Actually it is 4 8s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is actually 4 8s there. So what digit is a serial number of this dollar bill occurs most often? Well, again, you can clearly see that it's the 8. The 8 appears actually 4 times, but they don't want to know how many times it appears. They want to know what actual digit appears the most often. So that would be 8.